Have you got your tickets to the largest music festival in Eastern Kentucky? The Alley Fest is returning Labor Day weekend. That's August 29th, 30th, and 31st. And this year it's bigger and better than ever before. On Friday, see Them Dirty Vandals, Zoe Howard, John Foster, Slater Nelly, and TikTok sensation Maddox Batson. Saturday features Brady Robinson, Troy Burchett, Jordan Smart, Wicked Peace, Jack Marion, Tyler Hood, Rachel Bayman, Luke Trimble, Abby Hamilton, Grayson Jenkins, American Idol winner Noah Thompson, and Nicholas Jamerson and the Morning Jays. And on Sunday, we have Brady McCown, Emma Hansman, John Thomas Moore, Moonlight Mile, Braden Mullins, Corduroy Brown, B. Taylor, our buddies the Kentucky Headhunters, Cole Chaney, and three-time Grammy Award winner Old Crow Medicine Show. Alley Fest has a new home at Archer Park in the Star City, Prestonsburg, Kentucky. This year, the Alley Fest offers on-site camping options, including primitive camping, car camping, and RV spots. All camping is walking distance to the showgrounds. Tickets and camping passes are going fast, so get yours today and don't miss this unbelievable lineup. For tickets, VIP passes, camping passes, and more information, visit www.alleyfestky.com. That's www.alleyfestky.com. Welcome back to the show. We hope you're enjoying our series. Today we have Russ Savinson, Harold Shedd, Wade Smith, and special guest Dean Mathis. Let's get to it. This is Behind the Shed.
Well, we're really honored today to have a superstar with us that's going to talk with us and tell us some stories. And you will recognize him from the band that had one of the biggest records in the history of music, the Newbeats. So Dean and I go way back, and we'll let him tell you all about that. But we'd like to welcome Dean Mathis from the Newbeats.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, Harold. I would say deadbeats, but I won't. No, that trip was really good.
Thank you.
As long as it lasted.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
man.
right.
But like I say, I go back to about 14 years old when me and Harold met. And he had just got out of the Army. And he put some musicians together. And what I did, I played a little thing with him. But during the summer, when we was out of school, I had a part-time job, shining shoes.
Wow.
At a place called Red Ezel's Barbershop. You remember Red Ezel?
I do. I sure do.
Let me tell you, I didn't make a lot of money, but I thought when I got through in the afternoon, I felt my pocket. I felt more than a dime.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'd even get a quarter, you know. And one day I felt my pocket, and there was some papers in that was $1 bill. I couldn't believe I thought I was going to make that my whole living all my life, shining shoes. But thank goodness to Harold and a guy by the name of Lee Williams.
Yeah.
That's why I wasn't a shoe shine boy. So what my thankfulness to him, he contacted me and wanted to know if I wanted to play some music. He had evidently heard somebody told him something about a kid played a little bit of whatever. And he contacted me. And we got talking, and first thing I know, he had put a little band together, whatever, and we done a little playing here and there. The big thing was, Lee Williams put a band together called the Blue River Boys. You remember that, Harold?
I remember that.
And we went to Birmingham, Alabama, and every morning had a show from 7:30 to 8. And we were so good that at the end of the contract, our sponsor just wouldn't sponsor us no more. So I wound back up in Bremen got a job at the bus station City Cafe, working 6 to 6 at night, doing hamburgers and French fries and selling Pepsi Colas.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
because then you could get Pepsi Cola, hamburger, French fries, 25 cents.
Wow.
Yeah.
You remember that, don't you?
I do.
Okay. But anyway, he came to me one day and he said, look, I've got a deal up we're going to have in Rome, Georgia. It's a TV show on Channel 9 up there. Of course, I'd been watching TV, Channel 9 for a while, you know, coming from Rome. He said, would you be interested in going on TV? I said, will it make me a star?
So
Well, you know, after I got that job at the bus station cafe, I didn't know anything about food or cooking, nothing like that. I knew about guitars and fiddles. And but I took that job and I made $25 a week, 7 days a week from 6 to 6. I made enough money to buy me a car. It wasn't a new one, but it was a good car, you know.
Remember what kind it was?
It was a Chevrolet, 39 Chevrolet.
Wow.
Yeah. I drove that thing all the way to Louisiana one time, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I got to back up.
Put
But
it in
anyway,
reverse.
Yeah. So anyway, we took this job on TV in Rome, and we'd been there probably maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months. Harold went downtown one morning. He saw this marquee. Miss Hank Williams is going to be in town tonight. Well, he come back and he said, guys, he said, do y'all want to go see Miss Hank Williams tonight? And I said, boy, do I. And he says, well, we'll go. And so after we got through doing the television show that afternoon, we come back to the apartment and got redressed and everything. And we went down to the theater. He gets out the car, we get out of the car, and he goes up to the back door, knocks on the back door. This guy comes to the door, big old cowboy hat. And this guy said, is something I can do for you? Harold says, yes, we have a band. We're a local TV, on a local TV station here. And we come to see Miss Hank Williams. He said, well, come on in. So we got in, and he said, well, as we sat down and everything, when are y'all on? Harold told him all that. He gave him all the information that he wanted. Then he got to the point where he said, asked this guy, what do you play? He told him. What do you play? He told him. What do you play? He told him. Got to Harold. Harold says, I play mandolin. And but he didn't say this. He was the leader of the band. He put the band together. And he got to me, and he says, what do you play, young man? I said, piano and fiddle. He said, piano and fiddle? I said, yes. And that's all was said, you know. Well, he goes and gets Miss Hank Williams. She comes back in. She got some pictures. And she signed them to each one of them, you know, pictures to each one of us. And we talked with her a little while. And Paul came over and said, well, Billie Jean, it's about time you go on to do your show. So she left. He said, you guys can come on and stand in the wings because we're at the theater. So we all got up and go look by the wings and watching her sing, watching the show. She done pretty good. She sang pretty good, didn't she, Harold?
She did.
And but anyway, when she got through, we all went back, you know, and Paul came back. His name was Paul Howard. And to tell you a little bit about him, when I was a little bitty kid, we used to listen to the Grand Ole Opry all the time. I know you remember a song called Stay All Night, Stay a Little Longer. He's the one that sung that every Saturday night.
Wow.
And I used to hear that when I was a kid. But I didn't know he was the one that done it. I didn't even know it when I met him, you know. But anyway, they kind of walked ahead of me, and all of a sudden I heard somebody push my shoulder like this. And I turned around and it was Paul. He said, young man, would you like to go on the road? I didn't know what that meant at that time. And I said, I don't know. He said, well, what that means is, would you like to play in a band called the Arkansas Cotton Pickers? It didn't ring no bell. And I said, well, I might. You know, I didn't know what to say, you know. And he said, look, I'm going to be playing the Tallapoosa Drive-In Theater about a month and a half. He said, would you bring your fiddle and play me some fiddle tunes so I can hear you? I said, yeah. He said, you do play piano? I said, yeah, that's what I play is piano. He said, that was all it was said, you know. So we go do the drive-in theater. I do my fiddle tunes, and I was sure hoping he wouldn't ask for 3. I done 2. Those 2, that's all I knew. And so he said, good job, young man. So when he got down and ended their show, he says, do you still want to go on the road? And I said, yeah, I guess so. You know, like I still hadn't made up my mind, really. And I told him, I said, well, what you got to do, what you need to do, is go talk to my mom and dad. Because they'll be the ones to say whether I can go or not. I said, they live in Bremen. And I give them the address, the phone number, and everything. He said, well, I got to go back to Shreveport, Louisiana. I'll be coming back through here with the other guys in the band, and we'll pick you up on the way to South Carolina. I said, okay. Well, I go back and get with Harold, and we do it playing, you know, and I'm telling Harold, I don't know whether I want to do this or not. And finally Harold says, look, this could be your big chance. I said, big chance? I said, well, okay. So one afternoon, right before we went on, the secretary at the TV station come up and said, Dean, Aldine, your mama's calling. She wants to talk to you. I got on the phone and Paul Howard's here. He wants to know if you want to play on the road, and me and your daddy's been listening to him on the Grand Ole Opry. So if you want to go, you got to mind him though. And I said, okay, I'll mind him much as I mind you, because he might do the same thing. So we took off. He took off. He got on the phone and said, look, I'll meet you at the bus station in Rome. And because that's the only place I know where it's at. He said, I know where that is. So I go tell Harold. Harold says, okay, when we get through playing, we'll go to the apartment, get your clothes and everything, and I'll take you down to the bus station. So we went down there. We're standing outside the bus station. We've been there, maybe 10 minutes. And here comes this big old light blue Cadillac. And that big hat. I said, this must be him, you know. And it was. So I got in the car and told Harold goodbye and everything, and he introduced us to some other people in the car. And so we took off. And when I left there, my name was Aldine. But halfway to South Carolina, it was Pee Wee.
We hope you're enjoying the show. This episode is sponsored by PopChevy.com, Paintsville Tourism, Wild Bill Fireworks, the Kent Rose Foundation.
And the next morning, we were doing a show with Fairland Husky. He calls Paul. My fiddle player couldn't come this trip. Could I borrow your fiddle player? Paul said, well, sure, you can borrow my fiddle player. Paul called me after he hung up from Fairland and come in. Fairland just called me and wanted to know if he could borrow the fiddle player. And I said, yes, you can. I said, Paul, I don't know no more songs. I only know the 2 fiddle songs. He said, look, boy, you go get your feet wet. And I said, well, that's gonna be bad. You know, in my mind, I was thinking, this is gonna be horrible.
How old were you?
Huh? I was 16 at that time.
Go ahead.
And he was playing a children's hospital there. And so we were doing the show. He got up and he introduced everybody, you know. Guitar player, the bass player, you know. And they went about 2 or 3 people on stage. And when he got to me, he said, I want to give thanks to Paul Howard to use his fiddle player. Says, he's a great fiddle player, and we're glad you got him. And he let us use you. And he says, you'll be hearing. And by the time he called out, this is my brand new record. I feel better all over it more than anywhere else. I'm thinking, no, I don't. No. I don't feel good. But anyway, the guitar player kicked it off. And he was going really good, just like the record. So when he got to where the fiddle played, he just turned around and said, fiddle player. And I went, squink, squonk, squink, squonk. He said, guitar player. Like that. That was it. I thought that would be the end of my career. I thought that was it. But anyway, I survived it. And Paul was right. If I hadn't have done that, I probably would have never learned anything else on that fiddle. But when I got to Shreveport, I met a guy by the name of Al Hobson. Played fiddle and guitar. And he taught me so much, just, you know, what to do this and that. And the guy by the name of Curly Fagan helped me too. I went back to Birmingham after that for about 6 months, 7 months. That's how I learned more than 2 songs.
Yeah.
That's where that happened.
Wow.
That's an awesome story.
That's fun.
I wish Harold could have been there all them times.
Yeah.
So how long did you stay out on the road doing that?
Well, after that show there, we went to Nashville for about a week. Stayed up in Nashville. Went to the Opry, Friday night and Saturday night Opry. I met a lot of people Paul introduced me to. And then we went back to Shreveport. That's when we really started working. That's when I started working. And it wasn't playing the fiddle. He was a promoter, you know, promoting shows. And so he taught me a lot about that. And he would sell the tickets, and I'd go out and collect the money, you know, bring it to him. We did that, I don't know, probably did that for a year before I went back to Birmingham. But I finally went back to Birmingham, and then I come back, and I know you've heard of Dale Hawkins.
Yeah.
Had the record Susie Q.
Yeah.
When I come back, I met him and a guy by the name of Merle Kilgore. And Merle was, I never thought about who wrote More and More, the song More and More. I always loved that song. But then when I met Merle, I found out he wrote it. Made my day, just like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then Dale had Susie Q, and Dale then wanted me to go to work with him, you know, playing piano, not the fiddle. And but anyway, I worked for Dale about 2.5 years. My brother hadn't come over yet. He was still in school. But he finally quit school when he got 16. And I called him and I said, Mark, you want to come to Shreveport? Yes, I do, he said. So I got him over. And he started working, me and Mark started working with Dale. He worked with us. And in that band was Roy Buchanan. You ever heard of Roy?
The guitar player?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roy was a guitar player.
Seriously.
And Melvin Rogers was the drummer.
Yeah.
Roy went on to be a musician's musician.
Yep.
Great guitar player.
Great.
And Melvin Rogers left us. He went to work with Jim Reeves,
Oh, wow.
playing. I think he was probably about the first drummer on the Opry.
Yep.
He played one snare, just sticking a brush. And but anyway, me and Mark finally quit Dale. We got us a job there in Shreveport at a place called the Pinstripe Lounge. And we started out with just me, Mark, and a guy and a drummer called Hines Williams. Now, what I'm gonna tell you is that me and Mark wasn't the draw. The drummer was the draw. That's right. But anyway, me and Mark we were just getting together to try to do a duet. Like that was before the Everly Brothers. And well, we learned some stuff, and we did. And probably about a couple of months after we did that, I told myself we need a guitar player. Well, he brought a guy in that just played rhythm guitar. I told him, nope, we need a lead guitar player. I told him, I said, well, I think I know one. I said, his name is Billy Sanford, and I'm going to call him, and I'm going to see what he's doing. I called him, and he said, yeah, where y'all playing at? And I said, the Pinstripe Lounge. He said, where's that at? I didn't even know where the address was. Tell him. I said, look, you know Hines Williams? No. I said, I gave him Hines' his mama's address, because that's where we'd have to meet him at. And he came over. We rehearsed enough so we'd have a show. Then we left there and we done to the Pinstripe, and we started playing. We got better and better each week. But I go back to my drummer. He's one who helped that thing together the first month and a half. People would come to see him do drum solos.
Wow.
That's how good he was. Like a Buddy Rich.
Yeah.
That type of thing. He'd beat on his drum, he'd get on the wall, on the floor, he'd walk around and beat on the tables. Your head, he'd beat on your head like that. Everybody come to see Hines. And finally, we quit that job because we had an offer to a place called the Diamond Head Lounge in Bossier. It would seat about 250 people, and the Pinstripe would seat about 60. And we went over there and we put this thing together. And I had a guy by the name of Lucky Clark playing. He was the singer and the bass player. And we've been there about probably a little over a year. I couldn't keep Lucky out of trouble. He was always in trouble. And I was looking for somebody to replace him. And one night, these two guys come in. I saw them walk in. They sat at the table, right down close to the bandstand. And after we done, it's probably about our second set that we've done, he walked up to the keyboard where I was, and he says, you mind if somebody sits in with y'all's band? I said, well, who is it? He said, it's my brother-in-law. And I said, well, look, we're going to take a break in a few minutes. I'll come over. We'll go over let him tell me some songs he knows. If we know them, we'll pick a couple of them out and let him do them. So I went over, and we went over several songs, and he said, I know Funny How Time Slips Away. I said, you know that? Yeah. Well, I said, we can do that one. He said, how about Fever? I said, we can do that one too. I said, done deal. We'll call you up when we go back up. We'll do a couple of songs to get you up. And we done a couple of songs, and I got on the mic, and I said, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest here. Come on up here, Larry Henley. Larry come up. He done his couple of songs. He And he was doing that falsetto in those certain parts. It was a killer. I'm thinking already right there, I'm gonna hire this guy. And so when he got through singing, I called him back up. I said, "Hey Larry, come here." I said, "Don't leave. I want to talk to you." So he sat back down, and we took a break. And I went over to Larry's table and I said, "You want a job?" He said, "That's why I come to see if I could get a job." I said, "How about starting in about 2 weeks?" He said, "Okay, that's fine." So I go up to the owner. I said, "You hear the guy sing?" He said, "Man, he's a killer." Just like that. I said, "I know it." I said, I'm gonna fire Lucky and hire Larry." That's what I did. And that was the best move I ever made. That high voice is what done it.
Yep.
Exactly. And but how the Newbeats got together, how we did that. Me and Mark had gone to Las Vegas, and when we got back, before we got back, I had a great idea. I love the Four Seasons, and I had an idea to arrange "Bye Bye Love" like the Four Seasons would do it. And so I arranged it, and I called Larry, and I got Mark, and I said, "Look, I'm going to do a demo on this." I taught him the song and what the parts and everything. And it was like this. It said, if y'all familiar with the Four Seasons,
Yeah.
like Big Girls Don't Cry and all them songs,
Right.
okay. You start this one off like bye, bye bye love, bye bye love, whoa, whoa, whoa. Frankie, there goes my baby. The background is bye bye love, you know, that's the background. That's Four Seasons.
Yep.
So I called Boogaloo, the guy that wrote the song. And I sent him the tape. And I put him a note in there, play this for the Four Seasons. He called me back. I love it. He said, "But why do you want the Four Seasons to do it?" I said, "That's all I thought about. I didn't know anything else." He said, "I think you guys ought to do it." That threw me for a loop right there, you know, because I hadn't even thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, and he said, "Look, I'm gonna talk to Wesley Rose. He was the owner of Acuff Rose Publishing.
Big
And
publishing
Hickory,
company.
yeah. And Mercury Records. And he said, I'm going to throw my 2 cents worth in on it. And he said, I think there's something happened on this. He played it for Wesley, and then Wesley called me. Well, me and Mark, see, was already signed to Hickory. And so was Larry as a single.
Wow.
And Wesley said, I heard that tape, man, I really like it. He says, do y'all want to record as a group? I said, yeah. I said, I'll call Mark and Larry and we'll tell them. I called Mark and I called Larry and I said, look, do y'all want to do a group thing? I said, they like that Bye Bye Love. And both of you wanted to do it. So we go to Nashville, and I carry 3 songs with me up there. And we still like one song because you can do 4 songs on a session. But we like one song. So we go to lunch on a Thursday. The session is set for Friday morning at 10 o'clock. I'm at lunch, and Johnny Erline is the guy that runs the studio there at Acuff Rose. And we looked for the songs all week. We couldn't find nothing. And all of a sudden, he hit me in the side with his elbow. He says, when we get back to the studio, I got a song I'm going to play you. And he started laughing. I knew it was a joke then. And I said, okay. We got through, we left there and went to the studio. He got this acetate out, put it on. It was a two guys with a guitar. And the rhythm started off just with the, and it started off says, he likes bread and butter, he likes toast and jam, that's what his baby feeds him, he's a loving man. I got home early one Monday, much to my surprise, he was eating chicken and dumplings with some other. I said, stop it. He stopped it. That's a song right there. He looked at me and just started dying laughing. He said, you can't cut that song. I said, why? It ain't got no melody. I looked at him, I said, yes it does. He said, looked at me, I said, come out to the studio, inside the studio. It hit me the minute I heard that, the way it started and everything, how to do the song. You remember a song called Can I Get a Witness by Marvin Gaye?
Yep.
You know, it kicked off up on the high register on the piano, like that, like that. I took that high register, brought it down the middle C, and cut that lick in half. Just went a dun 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 like that. That's all there was to it. Then I said, Johnny, this is the way we're gonna do it. Me and Mark's gonna do this part. And I kicked it off. Dun dun. He likes bread and butter. He likes toast and jam. That's what his baby feeds him. He's a loving man. And Larry come in. Well, I like bread and butter with his falsetto. He stopped. He said, that sounds like a song. I said, it's a hit song. He said, well, we still got to get it by Wesley. I said, well, we'll make a demo. Mark and Larry had gone downtown to get Larry some shoes. So I went up and told the secretary, Miss May, when they call in, tell them to get here, I got the song. And they came back in. So we done a demo of it. And when we done the demo, I went up to Wesley's office up in front. Mr. Rose, we got this demo done. We want you to listen to it. He came back, plus he stopped by the Lester Rose's office at Hickory, they're in the same building. Brought everybody back. Not only they there, Larry Butler was there. And Nora Wilson. You know who those guys are. And we put the record on. The secretaries and everybody was there. Record played, boy, when he got, everybody loved the song. One guy didn't. You want to guess?
Wesley Rose.
Wesley Rose. Well, he looked at us and he says, you kids really want to cut that song? And about the same time, man, we all said, yes, Mr. Rose. He looked down and he said, well, it's your session. If you want to do it, you can do it. We did it. But that wasn't the end of the story. We went and cut the song. So before we left town, he called us to know. He said, we're going to release it. I'm going to release Bread and Butter, but it's going to be on the B side. Tough Little Buggy is going to be the A side. It was more like a Danny and Dean, Beach Boys type thing. You know, that's the kind of thing it was. Tough Little Buggy. Well, he released the record. The promotion man in Detroit, when he got the record, he played the Tough Little Buggy. He liked it, he said. But then he turned it over and saw the title, Bread and Butter. He said, I had to listen to that because of the title. He put it on. He said he played about 10 seconds of it when Larry come in, took it off, and told the guy, yeah, this is my pick hit of the week.
Wow.
They took it and put it on. He played it 3 days. The Hickory shipped 20,000 records to Detroit after 3 days of play. Then we knew we had a hit record.
Wow. Different world.
How many copies did it end up selling?
It was over 1 million.
And what year was that?
64.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, 1964.
Wow. How long did that take from the time it went to that first station until it blew up and it was a hit?
Well, it come in at 105 in top 100. It went from 105 to 56 with a bullet. It went from 56 to 23 with a bullet. From 23 to 9 with a bullet.
Wow.
We knew right then, you know. But when we got to number 2, you know who was behind us? That knocked us out of the number 1 spot? Roy Orbison.
Wow.
Oh, Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman.
Yeah. Because it had already sold 2 million copies.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
And right ahead of us was the Animals.
House of the Rising Sun.
House of the Rising Sun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you were in radio at that same time. What did you think when you last time you saw Pee Wee? He was heading out in a Cadillac with somebody with a cowboy hat on, and now you're getting a record in the studio with him playing.
Well, I didn't actually. First time we played it, I didn't know it was Pee Wee. You know, it was the Newbeats.
Right.
Gotcha.
So
Wow.
the record was it just exploded immediately. I mean, it was a bona fide hit, and then I later found out that Pee Wee was one of the guys in the Newbeats, and I was obviously happy for them.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
And then Pee Wee had another record with just he and Mark, a more country song that also they were out at the same time, weren't they?
When I Stopped Dreaming was out 2 months before Bread and Butter.
Was it? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Now I knew about that one because it got a lot of airplay
Yeah.
also, but was not, even though it was the same company, they decided to go and put all the power source behind Bread and Butter.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
when I Stopped Dreaming, just kind of faded away then. And,
See, I didn't know that part of the story. Wow.
Well, see, the record, When I Stopped Dreaming, and that markets it was played in, it was number 1 in every market.
Wow.
And Hugh Jarrett with the the gospel group he was with. Anyway, he was with this gospel group in Nashville. He was a bass singer, and he quit them and took over this radio station in Marietta, Georgia, WFOM.
oh, yeah, that's right.
And he got the record in. He saw it, looked at it. He knew it was Acuff Rose with Hickory. He knew Wesley. And he called Wesley and he says, is Hickory playing, is Quixie playing this song? That was the radio station, Quixie, in Atlanta. And he said, no, they're not going to play it. He said, yeah, they are going to play it. He said, no, we're going to force them on it. They started playing the record. He called West back. They're going to play the record start next week. It was number 1 on WFOM and number 1 on Quixie. So 50,000 records in Atlanta.
Wow. Wow.
But then he called me and Mark in the office, maybe like 3 or 4 weeks after that happened. Look, we got 2 hits going. We can't have that. It's not good. And I'm wondering why, why it's not good.
Yeah.
He said, well, suppose they want you in Chicago, you and Mark in Chicago, they want the Newbeats in New York the same night. He said, what you gonna do? I said, Count, just don't do one of them.
Which one's paying the most?
Yeah. He said, yeah, but that ain't good. You mess with that promoter won't call you back or whatever to book you again, which is baloney. And but anyway, it come down to the point he was wanting me and Mark to drop out of the Newbeats, and and that been well and good. But I wasn't going to leave Larry hanging like that. Me and Mark couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And so we refused to do that. But Hickory was more of a country label than a pop label.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So in that sense, it was more advantageous maybe in another sense, it would have been more profitable to go with Pee Wee's idea of the Newbeats. I mean, the Dean and Mark, you know, because it preceded the Everly Brothers.
Oh yeah.
And they had a great sound as a duet. Well, it was a hit, you know.
Wow.
And it was a familiar song by familiar writers. It was written by the Louvin brothers, I believe.
And yeah, and Charlie took me out and bought me a steak.
So it was
Yes, he
doing
did.
something.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a record company decision, while Bread and Butter became not just a hit in the States, but Europe and every country it was played in, you know.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, it was a good move. But
Wow.
either way, they were on the right track.
Yeah.
If it was just a business decision then,
Yep.
and that was,
Probably.
had it been left up to you and Mark and Larry, you probably would have done something differently.
Yeah.
Than,
If there's two things he could have said. Since we knew it would be a hit because it already broke in Atlanta, Louisville, Kentucky, and Shreveport, and Nashville. It went to number 1, dropped to number 9, and then went back up to number 1. The record was a hit. And but then when he called us in there and told us that kind of messed up my whole thing about, about the music business.
Sure.
well,
And,
that's, yeah,
But all
that's confusing.
yeah.
Very.
If he had said, look, what we can do is this. You can help Larry. We will wean him off of you and Mark. We'll get a couple of guys to go with him that will play instruments and sing. They didn't they get his own band and whatever. And we will put y'all on the Grand Ole Opry. If he had said that, it'd been a done deal. But my feelings was that wasn't gonna happen like that. When the things like that happen, you don't know on the spur of the moment
Sure.
what you should do.
Yep.
And that spur of the moment was to be loyal to Larry. Because I think Larry would have been loyal to us.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it meant, that's what that meant.
So they just
Well, it proved to be the right move in that it made them stars. They were on Shindig. They were on American Bandstand.
Yep.
They were on shows like the Ed Sullivan Show and all the platforms that were available on radio at the time. The Newbeats were there.
Yep. International too.
Yes,
Oh,
international.
Yeah,
Everywhere,
we
yeah.
done a tour in Australia and New Zealand with the Rolling Stones and Roy Orbison.
Wow.
It was a 30-day
That's
tour.
pretty big.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really big.
Yeah.
What year was that?
65,
65.
1965.
Wow. Wow.
And
That's so
then,
cool.
did you fly to Australia back then, or did you have to take ship, or how'd you all get from place to place? I mean, I know you hate flying.
Well, I didn't then.
Oh, okay.
Then I didn't. It didn't bother me because that was just when I first started flying.
Yeah.
No, it was 17 hours. Me and Mark was in Atlanta, and we met Larry in Shreveport. We flew from Atlanta to Shreveport, from Shreveport to San Francisco, from San Francisco to Honolulu, from Honolulu to the Fiji Islands, from the Fiji Islands to Sydney.
Wow.
Yeah, 17 hours it took us.
But after that trip to Albuquerque, no more airplanes.
No, buddy. That was a bad trip.
Yeah. So how quick did you guys go on tour after Bread and Butter came out?
Huh?
How fast did you guys go on tour after Bread and Butter broke?
Pretty quick at that time, because Jim McConnell. You ever heard of Jim McConnell? He was a booking agent for Acuff Place that time. He was a good one. And long as he was alive, which he didn't live very long after we had the hit, but long as he was alive, we worked almost every week. I mean, like from Tuesday night to Saturday, some
show.
Sundays.
Yeah.
He was a good booker.
Yeah.
And but
Well, now when you guys were in Europe, were you the opening act, or did you have an act that opened for you, or
no, we were the act.
you were the act?
Yeah.
So you had people that opened for you.
Not really.
Other acts?
No, what we did, every who booked us, we worked those big clubs
Ah,
in Europe.
okay.
And there's no, they
There
had,
wouldn't be more than one act.
right, well, the band, their local band
Yeah.
would be, and
I got you.
we would do the show, you know, we do it like an hour show, you know, on all that tour.
I got you.
Wow.
You
Wow.
were the show.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
And so when y'all got
that's
this,
big.
yeah, it is. When you got done with Australia, what did you do then? After Australia, where did you go then?
So we come back, and we did a American Bandstand tour with Dick Clark. That was about a 30-day tour.
Was that like the Cavalcade of Stars or whatever?
Yeah. And it wasn't too long after that, we did the Shindig tour. We headlined the Shindig tour.
Wow. And Shindig was the hottest music show on TV
At that time, sure was.
Wow.
And this is where I met one of my good friends, one of my idols, 'cause I love football. I met Rosie Greer on that deal. I told Harold, and they called us all together, going to get us our travel thing, how we was going to sleep at night, you know, at motels and stuff. Everybody wanted to pair everybody up.
Right.
So in our case, Mark and Larry paired up, you know, and they had paired everybody else. And so the only ones left there were me and Rosie. And then Rosie looked down at me and says, "Well, little man, looks like it's me and you." Like that.
That's pretty exciting.
Little
Yeah.
man.
And
Yeah.
I said,
You guys
"Yeah."
had a lot in common. You're about the same size and everything.
Oh man, yeah. I said, "That's fine with me, Rosie." You know? So we roomed together for 30 days, me and Rosie.
Wow.
Yeah, that was an experience, man.
I believe it.
It was good.
Yep.
Great.
That's
Yeah.
funny, man. At that time, that was a big deal.
Oh yeah, me
During
and,
all the desegregation.
me and Rosie's been
stuff.
friends now for
Yeah.
60 years. You know?
Wow.
Rosie, he probably loved bread and butter.
Oh yeah, he did, man. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fun stuff.
So how long was it after that till you and Harold got back on the same page?
Probably about 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, wasn't it? Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That's when I walked into the Hall of Fame
When
restaurant.
you were both in Nashville and neither of you knew the other was there.
No, we didn't know.
He got there in 71. I left there in 78, but I run into him about 2 weeks before I left. Just lucky. Now, I don't know how you call this. I had never stopped at that restaurant. Never. That morning,
Back up, we'll talk about what you were doing. This is, you told us, but tell at
Oh.
that time.
I was producing records for K-Tel.
Yeah. And K-Tel, for everybody, was a big re-record thing, right? Isn't that right?
Well, what
Yeah.
it was, they
TV stuff.
TV's there for albums,
Gotcha.
and we'd go in and cut. I cut 20 sides on Little Richard, and cut 20 sides on Fair and Young Country,
Wow.
and I cut B.J. Thomas. Now let me tell you what B.J. did. He went in. I cut 6 songs on him. He went in and he started singing. What I heard, I couldn't believe. And what's his name, the guitar player? You know him.
Paul Worley.
Paul Worley was the engineer. And I said, "Paul, don't stop the tape." I said, "Let him just run that tape." He run the tape for all 6 songs. He done the song exactly like he cut them. Didn't stop one time, the 6 songs.
Wow.
He's the only one that ever did that.
Wow.
That's B.J. Thomas.
Wow.
That's how good that guy was,
Wow.
you know?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're making these records for KU.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So
So what?
if I read it right, it was the original artist doing the original song.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then they were packaged together into a TV package.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It might be one artist or it might be more than one artist.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Might be 20, you know.
But it was very popular
Yeah.
at the time, yeah.
I remember that.
What the, see,
And that's
Kate-
when we met again.
yeah, right. That's when it was.
I was actually building a studio and Pee Wee was getting ready to check out.
Yeah, and Harold says, why don't you stay with me? I wanted to, but I had made a deal in Texas with the state police. I thought I had a deal, but like that. Doing promotion shows for the Louisiana Boys Camp. The state police had organized it and created it, but they needed money for the boys' camp. I was going to go down and, you know, we was going to do country shows, and Warner Mac was going to do the shows,
Oh, wow.
you know, and but it didn't work out, and so I wound up just staying in Louisiana. I didn't come back to Nashville, but I should have, but I didn't.
So what happened then?
That was it. You know,
That was it.
everything comes to an end.
Yep. That's crazy. So how long did the Newbeats thing run? How long did you guys go till it just ended?
We were actually together 11 years, but we didn't work after about the year and a half.
Really?
No, we had no booker.
Mm.
Had no booker.
Wow. What about follow-up records?
Well, yeah, well, that's hard. Well, yeah, we had to follow up. Here's the problem. When we cut the songs, some songs has to be promoted. Some songs don't have to be promoted that much. Like Bread and Butter. Bread and Butter was never promoted.
Just blew
They
up.
just sent it out and it just exploded, just like, you know, just happened. But most time you got to promote them. And the problem was that Wesley was a country guy, and hey, I love Wesley, because he gave us a chance to do what we did. But it also, in a way, hurt us in a way that I knew which direction we should have gone in. But Wesley didn't agree. You know, he just, and we had our, you know, I didn't agree with him, he didn't agree with me. And so it wound up where we had just 3 hit records. Bread and Butter, Everything's All Right, and Run Baby Run. Run Baby Run was a bigger seller than Bread and Butter.
Wow, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I remember, yeah.
Yeah, bigger seller. But he only went to number 12.
Wow. Wow.
So,
What year did it come out?
66.
66.
Yeah.
How many? Do you remember how many records it sold?
Huh?
Do you remember how many it sold?
I don't know exactly, but it was over 1 million. It outsold Bread and Butter, we know that.
Yeah.
See, it was out twice in Europe. And both times it was top 10. And that's why it outsold Bread and Butter.
Wow. Didn't know that.
Yeah, it was out twice.
So did you guys go tour some more in Europe and stuff?
Yeah, we went and toured that was probably about 5 or 6 years later when it hit again
Wow.
in Europe.
Wow.
And we toured over there on that deal.
Wow. Cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Well, we were surprised at it. No, they called me one day and says, Run Baby Run's a hit again in Europe. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
You know?
That's cool.
Yeah. And
Was it still on Hickory?
yeah. No. This was in Europe. It was on Decca, I think.
Decca.
It was either Decca or London. One of the
Different
two.
label.
Different label, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So, go ahead.
Well, both of those are good labels,
Oh, yeah.
Decca and London.
I think Art, I think they wind up with it. Art Records wound up with all our stuff.
Oh, okay.
Except now, maybe they don't, because Sony owns our stuff now.
Yeah.
They own all our stuff.
Yeah, they probably had it and sold it to Sony.
Yeah.
Sony bought
Yeah.
a lot of
That's what I
catalogs.
kind of figure.
Yeah.
They bought a lot of
Yeah.
catalogs.
Yeah, I remember it was used on bread and butter was used on movies and
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was in 5 movies
commercials.
and dozens of commercials.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's just unbelievable.
So it's still, even today, it generates
Oh, yeah.
revenue. Yeah.
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 So it's still
Yeah, it's
Okay.
still doing good
still
today.
a good thing to be part of.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So did you keep playing music when you went back to Louisiana?
Yeah. Well, basically I had to.
Yeah.
You know, but I really enjoyed it. You know, I just playing wherever I could. You know, and get working on weekends. Basically, what I did.
Plus, you learned all those new fiddle tunes.
Well, tell you the truth, I retired the fiddle. I retired it
That's fun.
because see, back years ago, fiddle was okay, but then it become a thing where it wasn't a thing for rock and
Well, it
roll.
was just another instrument.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I did learn to play steel guitar.
You're kidding.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I done a few sessions with steel guitar.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a hard one.
It is
yeah.
harder than a
But
fiddle.
I always
Yeah.
wanted to play steel.
Yeah, so did I, but it didn't work out.
I was 70 years old, and I'm sitting at the house one day, and I said, if I don't get a steel guitar, I won't never learn. So I went down to this music store, went in, I didn't even know the guy at the time. I said, you got a music book catalog that sells steels? He said, yeah. I said, could you let me look at it? He said, yeah. So I'm looking at it. There's some guys up front jamming, you know, playing music in there in the store. And he hollered at one guy and said, hey, you still got that steel you want to sell? He said, yeah. And he said, he asked me, he said, the guy's got a steel guitar he wants to sell. And I said, what kind is it? He said, it's a Fender. Not a Fender. Now I can't think of it.
Showbud.
Showbud.
Shot Jackson.
And I said, what kind is it? He said, single neck, 3 pedals. I said, how much you want for it? $250. I said, sell, it is sold. And I said, go get it, and I'll go get the money, and we'll trade. You know? So that's what happened.
Wow, that's cool. You still got
Way to
it?
go.
I took it over to a friend of mine. He's going to take it to Nashville and see if he can get it fixed. The what they call the motor in the back where the strings goes in and the pedals, it went out. So he's going to see if he. I called
Oh, they
Jackson,
can fix that. Yeah.
but they told me for that steel, it's a classic. It's one of the old steels.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
but what this guy's going to try to do, he's going to try to get some of the newer deals to go down in that. It's all they got to do. If it's too little or too big, they can fix that hole where it goes down in there.
Yeah.
They
Wow.
can do that.
Cool. Very
So I'll
cool.
be just going to wait and see.
Yep. That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're the only new beat left, right?
Yeah, my brother died last month.
So sorry.
Yeah, I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
Been lonesome without him, you
I
know.
get it, man. I
Yeah.
get it.
It's,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
you never know what's going to happen,
Yep.
and you don't know how you'll feel. I know now.
Yeah. I get it. Man.
And
Well, what a cool story, though, man. Having
Yeah.
all those records blow up like that out of nowhere. Just that all the decisions. You would think it takes a lot of decisions to make that stuff happen.
Well, to have 2 hits at one time.
Yeah, that's
man.
another thing.
That-
Having 2 hits.
That's I've never heard of that
Me
before.
either.
well, just I don't know, but we just lucky and had it. You know,
Yes.
it was just something that happened.
Yep.
Now, aren't you glad you went to that bus station?
You bet.
Yeah, man.
Ain't you glad you took me?
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, Harold took me down there, man. It was hard. It was hard for me to go.
Hated to lose you.
Man.
I'm glad you did it.
Yeah, man. What a great story. Golly. That's cool.
Yeah, I met you 4 or 5 years ago in Paintsville
In Paintsville?
with Harold
That's
at
right.
the Alley Fest Music Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's the first time we'd been back together in a while.
And well, first trip I made with you.
We went to Paintsville.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the group you produced was playing.
Well, I
Kentucky
signed
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Kentucky Headhunters.
Kentucky Headhunters. Yeah.
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 Yeah, it was a good time.
Oh yeah, we had
great
they were a
time.
good band, man. They were really good.
They are a good band.
You have to come
The
up.
Alley Fest.
You have to come up this year. Alley Fest is Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
This ought to be a really big one this year.
September.
It's I don't know what
Is that Labor Day?
No, it's
end of August.
yeah, it's end of August.
Well, it's September.
But I don't think it's actually in September, is it?
Well, I think
It's the
Labor
weekend.
Day.
Labor Day is the first weekend in September.
Is it? Okay.
Well, that's when it is.
Yeah.
But this
Okay.
year it's going
Yeah,
to be.
we'll be there.
This year it's going to be a bigger
Bigger venue.
bigger
Yeah.
venue, a lot bigger venue.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
the Old Crow Medicine Show.
You know, I really liked some of the opening acts they had.
Yeah,
Me too.
The last time we were there, guy and I think maybe a girl, a duet not a duet necessarily, but they were the stars of the show. They were so good. I can't
You talking about the whistle blower? The whistled so good.
Yes.
The guy that whistled.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, he was good, man.
Oh man.
And Harold told me, push me. I'm gonna talk to that guy.
Yeah. Made me want to do a record deal.
Tell him what he told you when you talked to him.
Oh, what did
You remember?
No, I was drinking.
Well, let me tell you. Harold gave his pitch, to him. The guy just looked at Harold and says, "No, I'm happy what I'm doing."
Yeah, that's what.
Just like that.
I do remember that.
Good to
Yeah.
find it out early.
Yeah, I just wanted to forget that.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe the guy would
I'm
do
happy
that.
with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably heard that so much.
yeah.
And he,
Wow, that's funny. That's
But he
funny.
was good, man. Best
he was-
whistler I
it
ever
was
heard.
the kind of act you'd want to
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Okay.
People liked him for one thing.
Yep. Yep. All right.
Okay,
Well, man, this has been fun. This has
Pee
been a lot of
Wee,
fun.
we
Yeah,
thank you
man.
so much. It's so good
Russ,
My
to
good-
be
my
with
good-
you
yeah,
again.
man.
friend.
Wade.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Behind the Shed. Special thanks to our guests today, Russ Zavitson, Harold Shedd, Wade Smith, and Dean Mathis. Today's podcast was filmed at Curly's Cabin on the Cimarron River in Oklahoma. Behind the Shed podcast was created by Wade Smith, produced by Russ Zavitson and Wade Smith, and recorded in Nashville, Tennessee. Camera, audio, video, and editing by Denise Zavitson and Russ Zavitson. Music written and composed by Russ Zavitson. You can contact the show via email at behindtheshed@gmail.com. You can visit our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Behind the Shed. If you would like to support the show in any way, please visit our Patreon page at Behind the Shed. For sponsorship opportunities, contact us at behindtheshed@gmail.com. Tune in next week as we go Behind the Shed. We hope you're enjoying the show. This episode was sponsored by PopChevy.com, Paintsville Tourism, Wild Bill Fireworks, and the Kent Rose Foundation.